historical fiction. I beg your pardon from being late. It's a little ways from Mississippi to get to Missouri. And this is from a larger work in progress. You know, the war is very hard on so many of us. And my sister wrote me a letter, so I'm going to read it to you because it has been most difficult. And she writes, "My dear sister, it was my hope in writing you this letter that it may help me make some semblance, some sense of all this fighting and bloodshed, lest I lose my mind. I have seen children dying, boys as young as 10 heading to war, old men returning, lame and crippled. Now something more grievous than you can imagine has happened. Our dear Charlotte, my only daughter, has run off from home. At first I was horrified, although I knew she was determined to marry that George boy. I thought I had convinced her to wait until this fighting was over. Something much worse has happened than an elopement. It is most frightening that some young women have gone mad. It's the first time I said I was glad my Richard was dead. He was such a good father that I know he would have gone after her, and I am not strong enough, nor would I know where to start. My Charlotte wrote me herself, only she is Charlotte no more. She is Charlie. Remember how we used to call her Charlie when she was a child and frolicked with your boys in the orchard? So I know the letter is from Charlotte, although she wrote it most carefully, lest it be read by someone and she be exposed. And I don't know what to do, my dear sister. Her fiancé, Robert's George, died at the Battle of Bull Run, and Charlie said that Charlotte died with him that day. And she writes that Charlie is fighting for both Roberts and Charlotte. Please pray for her, my dear daughter, and pray for me. I could not bear it if something happened. I cannot lose her, not like this. The world has surely gone mad. Women disguised as men fighting and killing. I pray for Charlie, my Charlotte, daily, lest she be discovered and shot. For if she is discovered, she will be executed, most likely accused of being a spy for either side. It is hard to understand how I failed in teaching her what Papa taught us, thou shalt not kill. We may be the only pacifists left in Missouri, and I'm sure you find it is equally difficult in Mississippi. It is also so frightening. It is my hope that you and the boys are well. If you are able, if the good Lord allows it, please come and stay with me. I have never been as strong as you, and I am so frightened. Your loving Sissy, Bird." Well, I got Bird's letter, and how do I tell her? How do I write her? So I decided to come to Missouri to find her, to stay with her, and then instead I get stopped by this Yankee captain who accuses me of being a Confederate spy, has no respect for a person who practices pacifism. They got some general here and he says you have to be on one side or the other. And then when he accused me of being a spy, I just lost all my manners. I just hung up my ladylike etiquette and I just told him it had been slicker than snot to shoot him with the derringer in my petticoat, and I was no spy, and I was going to see my sister. And that man still persisted, and I was so frightened. So finally I read him a poem I had written. And after he heard my poem, he let me on my way. And he said that Mr. Bryant would help me find the people up in Marshall. But this is the poem that made that captain release me. I call it War's End. The land is torn in two. Who will live but a few? Fields need plowing, creeks run red. Young and old, so many are dead. I did not know what war could rue until one son fought for the blue, the other son for the gray. What can a Southern mother say? Folks ask me where I stand upon the issues of the day. Used to not know what to say. Now I ask what they would pay. There is only so much one can face. I stand in one place. I stand holding their rusted toys. I stand on the graves of both my boys. Thank you.